Hello Sagittarius, this is your 2021 reading for what may happen next year. So let's just kind of jump into it. Oh, before I actually begin, sorry. So how I read for some of my things is I basically pick a card for each kind of sort of question of part of the spread. So you'll see me that I kind of I'll pick one card at a time and then we go based off of that reading, but one card represents one situation of this upcoming year. And I kind of do this for all my readings. So just a forewarning. So Sagittarius, this could be for your rising sun or moon. Please take what resonates with you, what doesn't, leave behind. And you can always check out the other videos to check out for your other signs and placements. So Sagittarius, this is your card from my zodiac cards, and we do have one Buddha oracle card, which kind of represents of what you should work on, what you should probably focus on this upcoming year. So let us begin with, I know 2020 was a mess. I understand that, but we kind of have to remember the past so we don't repeat it. So I'm going to pull a card for what 2020 represented. Alrighty, for 2020, we got the Page of Swords. A little bit of a reach. Cool. Okay, so for 2020, you guys, oh boy. Sagittarius, for 2020, you guys were definitely busybodies. You were trying to like keep up with everything and everyone. I can imagine you were the people that definitely tried keeping track of the news. Definitely with this year, you kept keeping track of everything that's happening around you. Also a lot of drama coming up this past year. I feel like this past year with a lot of people around you were being petty, and there was just a lot of drama this past year. Could be probably people you know, people at work. It just too much drama, too much happening. I'm a slightly gloss over this because it's 2020. But 2020 was represented in the Page of Swords. So that is what we got right now. Hopefully you can see it. Let's see. Alright. Moving on. So these next few cards are going to represent your career and financial. Alright, we got the, let's see if we can focus, the Knight of Swords and the Queen of Pentacles. Okay, so for your career this upcoming year, and along with the financial, what I'm getting is that, you know, you're done with 2020, you're moving on, you're going to be basically charging with your career, you're going to be taking on new challenges, you're going to be blunt with people. I feel like you're definitely going to dedicate a lot of your time to your job. But I'm also getting that, as you can tell in the picture, that, you know, you're running forward, and even the only thing that's like slightly different in the card that you can tell that, you know, you're really going, I would say, is like mostly with the cape and the horsehair, but in the back it looks like it's moving even faster. So what I'm gathering from the Knight of Swords is that your career may change, but from outside sources. So it's you personally don't want to change your career. You know, you're still going strong, you're still, you know, going forward as much as you can, but I feel like some kind of outside force is going to try to change your job and change your career. But I don't think for the worse, because we have the Queen of Pentacles, and for this reading is that she's representing your financial situation, which is extremely good. Any of the Pentacles, I mean, there's some Pentacle cards that are just not the greatest, but especially if you get the King or Queen of Pentacles for money, you are definitely set. So for the Queen of Pentacles, I feel like with you working extremely hard and just being blunt with your career, it will pay off. Your hard work will pay off, and just you're going to create a bunch of abundance and success within your workplace. You know, the Queen of Pentacles, she's surrounded by a lot of flora. She's holding a giant pentacle, and you know, she's in this beautiful green dress, and I think just your abundance and your success is really going to start paying off. Still think something outside, because I'm getting a lot of, I mean, most of these cards I think are all actually outside, except for a few. But I'm getting these senses just from like all three cards that there will be a change in your career or your job, but due to some kind of outside force. That is just what I'm getting. Let's move on to relationships. So we'll do love and then family and friends kind of cards. Alright, so we got the Ace of Wands and the Four of Swords. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to make the Ace of Wands represent your love situation for 2021. So I'm gathering for if you're single. So normally Ace of Wands means new beginnings, seeing something new. As you can, maybe I should actually hold the picture so you can actually see the background. But in this picture, there is a tiny little castle off in the distance. So something new coming. So if you're single, what I am gathering is I have a feeling you need to take your shot. Sagittarius, I think for some of you, you've been single for a while and you just haven't really been interested in the dating pool. But I think that you have a crush. So you haven't really been in a relationship in a while, and you haven't really been wanting to date for a while. But you do have a crush, and you've been, from the Ace of Wands, since there's that tiny little castle in the background, what I'm kind of getting is that you just kind of been like watching them from the background. You haven't really tried taking the steps to try to ask them out. But, you know, it's 2021 at this point. We already went through 2020. You might as well at least try a little bit. Go on a few dates, see how it works. But what I can tell is that you just kind of been hesitant. You haven't been really wanting to try. But I think it might work out in the end if you at least try. Just because, you know, with the castle in the background, you're just kind of like been looking at them. You're not really like doing anything. But you have that energy and the passion to go forward and start something new. So for that is for singles. If you're taken, for people, my Sagittarius that are taken or in a relationship, what I'm gathering is I think you guys will be moving onward to the next step. Whatever your relationship may be, whatever that next step is, that's what's going to be happening. If you're dating, it could lead to an engagement, because, you know, new beginnings, a door is opening. So an engagement, if you guys are just like in the dating phase, but you're like, we don't have titles on it, a title will be put on. So from what I can tell, people and who are in relationships, it will definitely, something new will happen. You're moving on to the next steps kind of thing. Now I know we're all looking at that Four of Swords. So this card is going to represent your friends and family this upcoming year, the Four of Swords. So what I'm getting with friends and family is I feel like with your friends and family, even with like some of your relationships, you're just running yourself way too thin. You know, you definitely put a fight up with 2020. You know, you were definitely a busybody. That's what I'm getting with the Page of Swords, is that you were a busybody with 2020. Just constantly keeping track of everybody, making sure where everyone's at, knowing everything, trying to constantly keep updated with everything. And I feel like with the Four of Swords, with your friends and family, you're just running yourself too thin. And I think this is a sign, because, you know, the person or coffin is laying down, and I'm kind of taking this as you just need some me time. I think 2021 Sagittarius, you definitely need to take some me time, you know, with the Page of Swords, Knight of Swords, Four of Swords. There's a lot of sword action, a lot of movement, a lot of trying to do things, and it's great to do things, but I also think you're just, yeah, I think you're, from what I'm getting, you're just running yourself way too thin with your family and even some of your friends, and I think you just need to take a moment and just relax and take a step back. So that's what I'm getting for this first part. So next, we're going forward. I tried getting some cards. You know, I can only do so much for future cards and future months. You know, it's more common to do 6 months ahead, 4 months ahead, a whole year ahead is like, oof, that's a lot of energy. So what I tried doing was breaking up into 3 sections, 4 months at a time. So these, I'm going to pull 2 cards, and these 2 cards are going to represent January through April. I got my 2 cards. We got the, if we can focus, the 8 of Swords and the 4 of Wands. So with the 8 of Swords and 4 of Wands representing, these 2 cards are going to represent January through April, is I'm getting there. I feel like the 8 of Swords is tying into the 4 of Swords. Irony, I said tying because she's tied up. There's some kind of confusion or dynamic off at home. I'm getting a lot of something at home. I feel with the tied up with the 8 of Swords is that, and with the 4 of Wands, is that you want change, which is tying into the 4 of Swords. There's some kind of weird dynamic going on, and you want change, and you feel kind of trapped at home, but you're kind of just been like waiting around for it to happen. You haven't actually like tried, I think, because normally with swords I'm getting you need to communicate. Swords is normally I take as communication. So I think there's a lack of communication at home, which is making you feel tied up, confused, and you want change, you want yeah, I feel like you want some kind of progress happening. But it's just not happening. I think that's what goes with your relationships with the Ace of Wands. Like, you have the crush, but you're not doing anything for it. You feel me? Like, you want change, but you're not making change. Or taking the steps to change it. So I feel like the beginning of the year is a lot of stepping out of your comfort zone and communicating with others around you, just so you make sure that change does happen. Let's move on to the middle of the year. All right, let's start working on the middle of the year, which will be May to August. 2 cards. we got the Strength card and the Two of Wands. Okay, so from what I'm gathering, going based off of this situation right here, I feel like some of you guys are going to be moving out of your house real soon, or just moving in general. Because with the Strength card, that, you know, it means having the courage to make tough choices, or even, sorry, my cat's in the background. Yeah, like the Strength card comes from making, like, you know, strong choices and brave choices, you know, making the tough choices. And then the Two of Wands normally means movement, going somewhere, a new beginning, continue with the Ace of Wands, something new happening, travel, even traveling the world, leaving. So what I'm gathering is, with the situation happening with the Four of Swords, with your family situation, Eight of Swords, and the Four of Wands, Sagittarius, I could see you guys trying to move out of your house, out of your family house, or even just like moving on from the situation. Like, you did sit down and have that conversation, which, you know, sometimes does take a little bit of bravery to have, like, you know, those tough conversations with your family, and gathering that strength to have that conversation, and then you kind of move on from the situation because you were able to face it, you did it, and now you're moving on. And moving on from a situation. So I think by the middle of the year, you would have moved on completely, and even maybe even physically moved out of the house. So either you moved on from the situation that's happening in your family or at home, or with your friend group and your relationships, and you're moving on, and now this is the middle of the year. You know, that takes a lot of strength to have that kind of conversations, you know, having deep conversations with people and telling them what you want and what you need. You know, sometimes that takes a lot. Let me keep going with maybe how the end of the year. We got the Six of Wands and Six of Swords. So definitely, I feel like with your career movement, with the Queen of Pentacles tied in with the Six of Wands, success, a lot of success. You will be seen for your hard work, even though things have changed. A lot of movement, a lot of change happening. You will be successful, and you will be recognized for what's happening. And, you know, a little bit of fame, or it doesn't have to be like, you know, actual fame, but like, you will be known and seen by your bosses for what you've done in your workplace. And, you know, you're just rising above the situations that's, you know, been dealt with you in the beginning and slightly the middle of the year. And with the Six of Wands, that means movement, changing for the good. A lot of change. Most of these cards mean change or something new happening. Especially with the Six of Swords, it mostly means something new will be happening. A change will be happening in your life. You don't know if it's good or bad. Normally, I take it as a good card. I take the Six of Swords as a good card because they are, we can focus, they're moving onto new land. You know, there's darkness over here, but it's starting to get lighter. And they're just seeing a better life for themselves in the card. And that is what I'm noticing, just like by the end of the year, all your pain and suffering, especially of this past year and whatever is going on with your family, you guys are going to be completely over it and moving on just for better. And you might be, moving out of the house and, you know, exploring new endeavors. That's what I'm getting, because, you know, your work may be changing due to outside forces that you can't control. So a lot of movement. What's your biggest obstacle? Biggest obstacle this year is the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles. Okay, so I think you, with all the stress happening in your life, I feel like you're giving yourself too much to others. You're stretching yourself too thin. Remember how I said that, you know, you need to take a break? Once again, stretching too thin. I think that's your biggest obstacle, is continuing with the Seven of Pentacles with the Four of Swords. It's just stretching her too thin and, you know, working yourself too much and not have, and I think, like, you know, you're trying to achieve a bunch, you're trying to achieve abundance, a better quality of life. And I think with the Seven of Pentacles, you are creating that abundance as you're going throughout the year, but you keep telling yourself, not yet, like, we can't rest just yet, we can't enjoy our abundance, our what we've created, we can't celebrate just yet, we can't live to our achievements, we can't celebrate, not yet. I keep thinking you guys are having this not yet mentality, and I think that your biggest obstacle is just stretching yourself too thin and keep pushing yourself. Like, I'm getting the sentence of, I'm working hard now so I don't have to work hard later. So you rather just work yourself to the bone now so you don't have to later, which could be kind of unhealthy at certain times. You do need a break. And then how you can fight it is the King of Swords. So this is going to help you, because this card represents your biggest obstacle this upcoming year, and this card represents how to fight or how to help you with your obstacle. And with the King of Swords, what I'm getting is, you're not people's therapist, okay? You're not people's therapist. It's great to be there for people. It's great to help people. And, you know, with the Page of Swords, you know, last year, that's what you did. You kept up with everybody. You made sure everyone was okay. And, you know, you kept pushing and going and trying to be there, but you've worked yourself way too thin. And, yeah, you need to take care of yourself. You're not people's therapist. You need to take care of yourself. I think it's okay to give logical advice. You know, if someone comes to you, you can really tell them, like, okay, this is what you need to do. You can take it or leave it. But I think you need to stop giving so much of yourself emotionally and just giving out little pieces of yourself to everybody. I think you just need to kind of, like, distance yourself, like, you know what, I will help you, but only so much. Know your boundaries. Basically, you're going to tell people, like, and you need to tell people where your boundaries are. Like, yeah, you can come to me, but you're not going to use me for everything. And I think that ties in with work. You know, you're charging, you're trying to work as much as you can, and you're willing to help coworkers, but you're like, I'm not going to do everything for you. Friends and family, definitely. And I think, yeah, this last card is going to represent your year overall, which is the Lover's card. So the Lover's card, you know, with this year, this upcoming year, a lot could be happening. I think you're going to start loving yourself. You know, normally this means a new relationship, new beginnings, more new beginnings, a sort of a new relationship, a new love interest. But I think you're learning to love yourself. I think it's not someone else in your life, because let's see, love card was the Ace of Wands. It could be a new relationship. I mean, because, you know, you may have a crush that you've been, like, you know, you're actually giving a try, or you're actually trying to give dating a shot now, trying to go on a few dates, that you may actually meet somebody new in your life. But I also think you're also going to start loving yourself even more and knowing your own self-worth. I think that's a major part of the lesson that'll be happening. And I think you are what you attract. And if you are working hard and you're being positive, you will attract that also. And I think you just have the power to manifest whatever you want, especially with the Lover's card. So I think 2021 will have some challenges, but that's life. I'm just definitely sensing something, a family dynamic change, moving, change in work. Ask your crush out, ask that person out, or start giving dating a chance. And I think your year will work out. So before we end, we have our Oracle card. So I have Buddhist cards that I use personally. I use them maybe weekly, monthly, whenever I'm feeling like it. And I really like these cards just because they give you a message of what you need to work on. So I chose one card for what you should work on for this upcoming year. And you got forgiveness. Holding on to anger is like grasping a hot coal with the intent of throwing it at someone else. You are the one who's getting burned. By practicing forgiveness, you can find new meaning in life's worst events. As love and compassion combine in the sacred space of the heart, they are released as an all-powerful energy, and everything changes. All possibilities again become open to you. So let me read from the book, because they, in the book, they also give information of what you should focus on, what you should do, kind of thing. And we got the number 18 or 9. 9, 9. Oh, I like that. Okay. All right, so forgiveness, which is 18. Alright, this realization allows you to go beyond the experiences that have triggered the anger and hatred in you. As skillfully turned inward, seek the mystery of love, compassion in your heart, and you will begin to heal the pain from past betrayals, bringing wholeness and balance to your life. As you release this anger towards others, you'll be freed from the resentment caused by the wrongdoing committed by others or yourself. Once this pain is released, it is possible for the heart to become open, making clarity of understanding, sustainability, peace, attainable in here and the now. On the greater scale, when you are peaceful, the world around you will be peaceful. Forces of anger and hatred will be unable to penetrate your space. You will truly be helping heal the wounds of the world. And the reflection the book recommends is, has your refusal to forgive ever led you to experiencing destructive emotions? And the action they recommend you do is write a list of people, events, and your own wrongdoings that you are ready to forgive right now. So Sagittarius, wow, that was intense. This is your 2021 reading. I hope this helped, and we have this been for your rising, sun, or moon. I hope you check out the others to make a complete reading. But I hope this helped, and I'll see you guys soon.